Okay, so we will continue with our second grammar lessons. We will continue talking about sentences, but today we will review, or I will try to remind you what the types of sentences are. Okay, so we will be talking about statements and questions. Okay, if you don't remember what a statement is a sentence. Okay. But before I tell you what a statement is, remember that a sentence must begin with a capital letter. We said this last year. Every sentence always begins with a capital letter, okay? And always ends with a end mark. So the first type of sentence is a statement. What is the statement? Let's see. A statement is a sentence that tells you something, okay? So a statement is a sentence that tells you about something or about someone, okay? And it always ends with a period. Let's see our example. It says, the girls are going to school. The girls are going to school. This sentence is telling us that the girls are going to school. So that's why this is a statement. It also begins with a capital letter and ends with a period. A period is the dot that you put at the end. Okay? So what is a question? A question is a sentence that asks you something. Okay? When you want to ask someone something, it is a question. Okay? A question is a sentence that asks something. Okay? Does it begin with a capital letter? Yes. What does it end with? It ends with a question mark. Okay, so a question begins with a capital letter and ends with a question mark. And our example here says, are the girls going to school? Okay, the sentence is asking if the girls are going to school. And we must give an answer. Okay, so again, a sentence must begin with a capital letter, and so far we revise two types of sentences. The first one is a statement. A statement is a sentence that tells you something. It begins with a capital letter and ends with a period. So it's a sentence that informs you something or tells you something. Begins with a capital letter and ends with a period. What is a question? A question is a sentence that asks someone something. It begins also with a capital letter but ends with a question mark. Okay, when somebody asks you a question, you must give them an answer. Okay, so let's see if you guys understand. We will read two sentences here and you will tell me what kind of sentence that is. Okay, number one, it says, we live in the city. Number one, we live in the city. Okay, so the sentence is telling us that we live in that person or those group of people live in the city. So it is a statement. But number two, let's see what it says. Do you live in the city? Do you live in the city? Okay, it's asking someone if they live in the city. So this number one is a statement because it tells you that they live in the city, but number two is asking whether or not you live in the city. So number one is a statement. It also begins with capital letter, ends with a period. And number two is a question. It begins with a capital letter and ends with a question mark. And it's asking you something, right? Okay. Okay. So on page 4, in language arts, we will answer these questions. It says, read each sentence, tell if it is a statement or a question. So we will read each sentence and we will write if the sentence is a question or a statement. Okay, as I did before, I read the first sentence and I answered it for you. Okay, number one, where is your new neighborhood? Where is your new neighborhood? We also took last year that there are some words that we use to ask questions, and where is when you ask about about a place. Okay, so, and as you see here, it begins with a capital letter and ends with a question mark. So this is a question. Okay. I'm gonna open it so I can type. Okay. Okay. So, number 2, we moved to the city. Sentence number 2 says we moved to the city. Okay? So this sentence tells us that they moved to the city. This is a statement. Okay? Number 3. Do you live in a house? Do you live in a house? Okay? This sentence is asking you whether or not you live in a house, and you see there's a question mark, so this is a question. Okay? Number 4. I live in an apartment. I live in an apartment. Okay? It begins with capital letter, ends with a period, and it's telling us that the person lives in an apartment. So this is a statement. Okay? Number 5. I hope I meet new friends. I hope I meet new friends. Okay? This person is telling us that he or she hopes to meet new friends. And it ends with a period. So this is a statement. Okay? Page 5, part A, question part A. Okay, it says underline each statement and circle each question. Okay? So I will just, if it's a question, I will put like a circle after the question, and I will underline the sentence. Okay? So you know that I circled this one. Okay. Number 6. Why did your family move? Why did your family move? Okay, the sentence begins with capital letter and also asking the word why. When you want an answer or you want to know the reason of something, you usually ask with the word why. And here you see is a question mark, so this is a question. So we will circle. I will put like a circle here. I cannot circle the sentence, so I will just put a red circle after it. Okay. Number 7. Mom got a new job. So the sentence is in telling us that mom got a new job. I will underline because it's a statement. Okay. Number 8. Will you visit my new neighborhood? Number 8. Will you visit my new neighborhood? This person asking if his friend will visit the neighborhood, and at the end here ends with a question mark. So this is a question, and we will put a circle. Okay, so we're going to circle number 8. So we will circle number 6 and number 8. But because they're questions. Number 7 we underline because it's a statement. Number 9, a nice family lives next door. A nice family lives next door. Okay? This is a statement. The person is telling us that a nice family lives next door. Okay? And also ends with a period. Number 10, I made 2 new friends. I made 2 new friends. Okay, the sentence is telling us that the person made 2 new friends. This is a statement. We will underline. Okay, next, page 5, part B. It says, write each complete sentence. Okay, so we will read each sentence and we will write the sentence if the group of words is complete. Okay, so for example, it says here, can we visit next week? Can we visit next week? Is this a complete sentence? Yes, it is. So we will write this whole sentence. Okay, the book wants you to write it again. Okay, so I will write it for you. This is the same. We will write the same sentence because it's a complete sentence. It's a complete question. Okay. Okay, number 12. My dad will drive us. Is this a complete sentence? Yes, it is a complete sentence. So we will write this sentence. Okay, number 13, your new address. Your new address. Is that a complete sentence? No, it's not. We will leave it the way it is. Number 14, we like the city. Number 14, we like the city. Yes, this is a complete sentence. We will write it, or you will write it in your notebook, okay? Number 15, are the buildings tall? Are the buildings tall? Is that a complete sentence? Yes. All right. Okay, next, we're going to go to the practice. Okay, practice book, page 2. It says draw a line under each statement like we did above. We're going to read the sentence, and if it's a statement, we're going to underline. If it's a question, we're gonna draw a circle. Okay? Okay, so number 1, he sees a lily pad. He sees a lily pad. Okay? Begins with capital letter, ends with a period, and it's telling us that he sees a lily pad. We're going to underline. Okay? Number 2, is that a frog? Is that a frog? Okay? Begins with capital letter, ends with a question mark, so it's a question. I'm going to just draw a circle. Okay? Number 3, a fish jumps out of the water. A fish jumps out of the water. Okay? This is a statement. I will underline it. Okay? Number 4, did it catch a fly? Number 4, did it catch a fly? Okay, you see, it's asking if the fish caught a fly, and it ends with a question mark. We will put a circle. Okay, number 5, a duck swims by. Okay, it's telling us that a duck swims by, so we will underline this sentence because it's a statement. Okay. For the second part of page 2, it says read each sentence, end each question with a question mark, and end each statement with a period. Okay, so we mentioned before that a statement is a sentence that tells you something, and it begins with capital letter and ends with a period. A question is also a sentence. It begins with capital letter and ends with a question mark because it asks you something. Okay, so we will read each one and then we will put the correct mark. Number 6 says, insects live near the pond. Insects live near the pond. It's telling us that insects live near the pond, so it's a statement. Okay? Number 7, some insects live in the water. Some insects live in the water. It's also, it's telling us that some insects live in the water. It didn't ask us anything. So it's a statement. Okay? I will put period. Number 8, do some insects live above water? Do some insects live above water? This is it's asking you, can some insects live above the water? So this is a question. We will add a question mark because this is a question. Number 9, some insects fly. Some insects fly. It tells us that some insects can fly, right? So it's a statement and we will put a period. Number 10, do all insects swim? Do all insects swim? Okay, so also you can find that sometimes when sentence begins with a verb and it's asking you something, it's a question. Do all insects swim? It's asking you, do all the insects swim? So it's a question. And I'll put a question mark. Oh, sorry. Okay, that was the end of our lesson for lesson 2. If you have any questions, contact me, okay, or ask me any questions anytime. Thank you.